What is up, everybody? I'm glad to be back. I hope that Facebook is coming through. StreamYard is having a little issue this afternoon. But if you guys are on Facebook, let me know in the comments. But we got to get this going. So let's get that 3-minute timer and get some more peeps in. Here we go.
Kid folk with canned heat, barbecue. We're going to the So Smoking Gooder show. Let's all drop in.
I'm Phil Breeden, owner and founder of LC Barbecue, and you're watching the So Smoking Gooder show.
This is Bill Purvis with Chicken Fried Barbecue, and you're watching the So Smoking Gooder Show. Boom.
I'm Skippy. What's up? Bill Purvis from Chicken Fried Barbecue. He's going to be on here in just a minute. LC Barbecue, Mr. Phil Breeden, and we all love the old Kit Pope. We just drop on in. I love Kit. Welcome to the show, guys. It's a little after 8 o'clock on a Wednesday, and you know where to be, and that is right here watching the So Smoking Gooder show. I am your host, Rob Arocha, coming to you from the Bullhorn Worldwide headquarters here in Cypress, Texas, along with producer Ty. We're going to try and present the best show possible for you guys, and we've got a good one. Bill Purvis has been on a roll. As we all know, Bill's a good friend of ours, a good friend of the show. It's been a little while since we got Bill on, but we'll bring him on in just a moment. But first order of business is to say hello to the Gooder Gang. I'll get to you guys in just a minute. But just sorry, I want to apologize. I did not do a show last week. It was a travel day. I was headed to Evans, Georgia. That is the worldwide headquarters of RecTech smokers. You guys know about Rec Tech. I talk about them all the time. It was my 4th year to go and instruct over at Rec Tech. Super blessed to be able to do that for 4 times now. Actually, it's 5 if you want to count the one time I just went to hang out. But that was my 4th time to go and instruct. It's a great time over at Rec Tech. We had students from all over this great country of ours. I had students from Ohio, Michigan. We've got them from New Jersey, Florida, Texas. They were all in the house and representing. It was a great time over there. For those that don't know about Rec Tech, they are a pellet smoker. They're one of the premier pellet smokers. They're the best one. Bill even uses it on his rig. I have one in my rig. Speaking of that one, I told the story to the students. I don't know if I've ever told this story here on the show, but back in 2018, you guys knew that I have a tailgate team, or had a tailgate team. Still, maybe we'll bring that back up down the line, somewhere down the line, against my wife's wishes. She don't want to do that anymore, but maybe we'll bring back the Bullhorn tailgaters at some Texans games. And back in the day, I was a season ticket holder from day one with the Texans, and we had a large tailgate. I mean, like we'd have, 30 on average for a game day. And then some of the big games, we'd have 130. It really depended on the matchup. And if it were a night game or a primetime game or whatever it was. But back in the day, 2018, I sent a message to Rec Tech because I had come across that red 680. A friend of mine had one. Fred Leal had one. And they were amazing. They were nice. You could tell the quality of build. They had bullhorns on their smokers, and we were the bullhorn tailgaters. And so I sent a message over to, Trumpet Masters on Twitch. What's up? I sent a message over to info at Rec Tech or whatever it might have been, marketing at Rec Tech, whatever it was. And I explained to them who we were, bullhorn tailgaters. We had a large, nice following. There were teams, people that went to the stadium had to funnel right through. We had 2 corridors of people that would funnel right past us to go to the stadium. And I, say, hey, high visibility, let's do it. Hoping, we get a little discount on a smoker because I was already going to buy one. I love those things. But Jody, Barbecue Dad Jody, was the one on the other end of that email, and he knew about us from socials, from Bullhorn on Instagram back in the day. I was doing a bunch of Instagram, and he knew of us, and he was like, yeah, we want to be a part of that. How can we do it? And this and that. And I was like, he wound up sending me a brand new 700 bull that I still have to this day in my trailer. If you guys have seen me out on a competition, I have that bull. It is a beast. It's been rolling across the country. I don't know how many miles that sucker has on it. That, speaks to the quality of Rec Tech. That thing has never failed me. I've even failed to strap it down one time in my trailer and dropped it while traveling. It fell over, but took the lick and kept on ticking. It's a fine machine. If you guys have not visited Rec Tech, check them out, rectech.com. But that's the story back in 2018. And I've been with them ever since, and it's been a great partnership. And I'm part of the family now. I've been, like I said, 4th time to go and instruct over at Rec Tech. They believed in me back in the day when we were just tailgating, doing some barbecue. Obviously, that's about the time that I started really kind of concentrating on barbecue and getting a little more focused. And it's been a great match, for them to believe in me and do that. It's been a blessed partnership. So shout out to Rec Tech. Thanks for having us out there. Chef Greg over there at Rec Tech, Chef John, and of course, my good buddy, Barbecue Dad Jody Flanagan over with Rec Tech, and Ray and the whole crew over there. Thank you very much for having us out there. Had the family out there, took a little vacation time, some PTO from work, traveled, went to Pensacola, saw the Blue Angels before we headed up to Evans, Georgia, spent some time out there, and just what an awesome relationship that we have with them, and what a great group of people. And I'm proud to represent Rec Tech, and I'm thankful that they still believe in us over here at Bullhorn worldwide headquarters. So that was our story with Rec Tech. And I was talking about the show. They always ask about the show, and I did a TikTok while I was out there talking about that relationship. But prior to that, TikTok. You guys have seen it. Bill's all over TikTok. We'll talk about that maybe too. Some socials, how you can get your name out there a little further. I see a lot of guys out there hitting those up, TikTok and Facebook, and of course Instagram's still a thing out there. But man, it's great. So I did a TikTok about this show specifically because I've been on TikTok and I never, I say So Smoking Gooder Show, but some of those guys, they don't know what the hell I'm talking about. So I wanted to explain to them. And in that TikTok, I talk about you, the Gooder Gang. Y'all are truly the best part of this show. You guys make it. Right now, we got 60,000 of you guys tuning in, which is by far more than I've seen across all the other types of shows like this. So thank you guys for sticking with us. Thank you guys for watching all the way. And speaking of my great friends, like I said, truly the best part of this show, the Gooder Gang, it is time to bring out some shout outs. But before I bring out the Gooder Gang shout outs, let me bring in producer Ty real quick. He doesn't know whenever I'm going to bring him on, but what's up, Ty? How are you today, buddy?
Man, you had an excellent week last week.
Oh, it was fun. It was fun. I love going out there. It's one of the highlights of our year doing this thing of barbecues, to go out there and spread the barbecue love with people from all over the country, man. It's really cool.
I see it. And even not just with you, with all the guys. I follow their social media, Mr. Purvis's, Mr. Breeden's, Mr. Leslie's, all those people that are everywhere. And I love the veterans that are involved. So, yeah, I love RecTech, too. I love the partnership they formed with you over these last, 6, 7 years?
Yeah, it's been, I think, we're going on 6, man. It's pretty awesome. It's awesome. Yeah, you got to count 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. Yep, that's 6. I can
That's
count.
6.
I can count, ladies and gentlemen.
That's some Army math.
That's some Army math. All right, well, thank you, Ty. We'll get you back on a little later in the show, but thanks for sticking around. And Ty is also one of the best parts of the show right there, Mr. Ty Cobb. All right, well, speaking of the Gooder Gang, before we get Mr. Bill Purvis in the house, so I didn't do like a pre-show, like a setup to where, 4 hours ahead, because like I mentioned earlier, that StreamYard's having a little issue going live to Facebook. But they said, hey, if you go live immediately, it's not a big deal. But he's still in. Carlos Calzada checking in. Curtis McBlain, what is up? Our first Twitch guy right there, Taz. I'll let Ty do the thing. Jared McCrory's checking in. We got Kevin Hernandez. What's up, Gooder Gang? What's up, Rob and Bill? What's going on? Brad from Smoking Magic. They had themselves a weekend. A few weekends now. They've been killing it. Congratulations, Smoking Magic. Uwe Braun. I'll be saying his name a little later in the show. Johnny Mags. What is up? Going prime time. Johnny Mags. Yeah, you beat Dutch. I haven't seen Dutch yet. Chuck and Vanessa, what is going on? How are you? Trey's Barbecue. Albert checking in. ZZ Top Fan. I still don't know who that is. There's Bill Purvis. Up, Barbecue Fam. Michael Sistrunk, I'll see him this weekend. And Tom Ball, we got Trumpet Master, RecTech Baby, absolutely. Cesar Mejia, I'll be saying your name as well. What is up? Facebook working fine. Thank you so much. Brandon Perriman, I'll see him this weekend. What is going on? Ricardo Nieto Jr., what's up, Gooder Gang? We got Bobby Delgado, Quattro D, Drum Smokers in the house. Who else we got here? Larry Vaughn, afternoon from my rolling office. All right, he's traveling. Mark, what is going on? Stephen Pfeiffer, what is going on? Let's roll. Serge, the guy that went and watched every one of the So Smoking Gooder shows. I don't know how you did it. Jeff Dennison, what is going on? Harold Williamson, Tim Kirkendall, my good buddy up north, what's going on? Aaron Leslie, what up, bitches? There he is. Aaron, I need to get you back on the show, my man. It's time for you to come back and co-host. There he is right there. Chef Greg Muller from RecTech. I just shout out, and he's watching the show. Adam Dawkins, what is happening? Daddy Dutch, there he is. He's checking in. He's not going to be missing this show. Al Almanza, I need to order some of that winning barbecue sauce. Mr. Purvis, yeah, Bill's got a sauce recipe, some sauce game out there. See what he's got going on. Tony Tanache. Oh, there's Levi, Colorado Bulldog. He did well. He's been doing well, but I think I got his name somewhere. Tony Tanache, hey, you fucking wankers. There he is. What's up? Louis Gonzalez, sup, Rob. Jared Rose. Who else we got in the house? Buzzed Barbecue, Brandon Flores, Sean Strader, Frank Rocha. No relation, but we're probably somehow almost related. Just missing an A there, Frank. Juan Mendoza, Kevin Wise. Are you going to get... I know. I don't know if you guys saw, but RecTech and they did a reel, a collab with Bullhorn. So that was all over socials. I got some followers out of that, Greg. That was pretty cool. I love that Smokestone. They have a new griddle, guys. They've just released a whole bunch of line. They got the Dual Fire. They got the Deck Boss. Man, I think they've released 8 in the last, feels like 6 months. But recently the one that got my eye was that Smokestone. That is a pellet, the world's only pellet smoking griddle, and they've got holes all around that 360 degrees. They got the griddle, they got a hole in there so you can dump your trash. It's and it's real sturdy. They've got a nice base on that, a sturdy base. So if you guys are looking for a griddle, look no further than RecTech, and Greg can hook you up. What else we got here? Let's see here. Bobby Riggs, I'll see you this weekend, Bobby. Tasha Swagger. Is it Swagger or Swigger? How are you? Cal Zada, I already said your name. Sean Trainer, what is up? Man, you guys still checking in. We got 70,000. I love you guys. Mario, Kurt, let's see. I don't want to forget anybody. Grant checking in from Australia, down under. Firewalker, James Powell, Eddie Madrano, Holy Cow Cookers. Is this the Holy Cow? That is the Holy Cow from Houston Livestock Show and Rodeo. You guys have not checked that out. Twisted Oliver, what's up, Bobby? How are you? Gerald, who else we missing? Joshua Rush. And Louis is the last one in with an LFG Rangers. Yeah. If you guys, y'all know I'm a huge Astro fan. Big state battle for the ALCS just happened. I actually went to Game 7. One of the worst games I've attended, not because of the outcome. I've seen the Astros lose. I've seen them win a lot more than they do lose. But sitting next to me was the most, in the entire stadium, she had to be the most annoying Ranger fan right next to me. If you guys have been to a ballpark in the last 20 years, those seats are not, they're like super close, super tiny. So I'm a big boy. So I'm crunched in my seat, and she is literally right next to me, touching legs. It's that close. And she is calling out every freaking player by their first name. Go Evan, go Corey, go Marcus, loud as shit with just a shrill voice. If she's watching, I don't. That's the reason that I am not. I don't know. I'm not saying that I'm not pulling for the Rangers. We'll discuss that a little later. But man, that was. I know I should have stayed at the Rec Tech headquarters, because every time I watch a game there, they win. My goodness. All right. Highlight Eddie's tie. That's pretty funny. That is pretty funny. Mexican word of the day is astronaut, Astros, and astronaut going to the World Series. That's okay. Hey, people have they're putting the demise of the Astros like they're done. They're not done, people. They're going to be back in another 8th. The ALCS stands for Astros League Championship Series, and they'll be back for their 8th in a row next year. Mark it down. Count it. Dusty retired today, so we'll get a new coach, but they'll still keep trolling, keep rolling around, trucking and rolling, trolling. They'll go. All right, let's get to the guest right here. You guys know Bill. He's a great friend of the show. Sorry, Ty. Can you play the sponsor role real quick before we get to Bill, and then we'll get Bill in real quick. I want to make sure we stay on track here. We'll get this going. Here's Bill in just a moment, right after our great. Shout out to the supportive and outstanding sponsors. Rectag, Smokin' Magic, Cosmos Q Products, KNR Pipeline Services, Race Crew Drum Smokers, Barbecue 321 Podcast, Texas Oil Dust, LC Barbecue, Pinkerton Texas Pit Barbecue, Frisco Ranch Cook-Off at the Crossroads, War Pig Barbecue, Texas Chrome Heroes Foundation, Chicken Fried Barbecue Grind, Navy SEAL Danny Dietz Memorial Classic, Bull Printing Wraps and Graphics, Texas Original Charcoal Products, Got Your Six Culture, We Branded Promotions, and The Barbecue Store in Hempstead. Thank you for supporting the So Smokin' Gooder Show. Absolutely. Some of them sponsors are also competitors that have been out there doing their thing. I saw the barbecue store has got some new product in. Some of you guys are releasing new product. I just want to tell you, thank you very much for supporting the show. Thank you so much. All right, Los Gordos checking in as well. All right, we're going to bring in our good buddy, Mr. Bill Purvis. He's been on the show. I feel like he cut his chops. Now he's a seasoned pro doing all of these shows all across America. You know, before Oprah called, before Dr. Phil, he was on this show right here, the So Smokin' Gooder Show. So I know he has not forgot where he came from, but it's time to bring him back. Bill has been around, and he's been doing an amazing job. It's time to bring him on right now. Let's bring on Mr. Bill Purvis from Chicken Fried Barbecue. Bill, did you notice I am wearing?
I did notice that, Rob.
I'm wearing the stealth
yeah,
chicken
yeah,
fried.
you're in black ops mode,
I'm in stealth mode,
stealth
black
mode.
ops mode, but you're not. My God, you
No.
are high visibility, Mr. Bill Purvis.
Man, that's the shirt you wear if you want to go into Buc-ee's and not be noticed.
And not
Either
be
that or
noticed.
the camo. So.
I know we have told that story before, but I have been in Buc-ee's with Bill, and it's like come on, Bill, we got to go, bro. Come on, let's go. Stop kissing babies. Stop signing autographs. It's time to go.
It's time to get on the road. Yeah.
And that's no joke. That's no joke. People stop him, and when he's wearing his shirt, and which is pretty much every day. It's your uniform.
I decided to change it up for the show.
I know this is all professional. You're going professional on me today.
I put on a nice polo for you. So.
You don't have to. This is the So Smoking Gooder show, bro. You don't got to go polo on that. You could have gone sleeveless with the.
Well, I know you're trying to up your game on the show.
We are.
You're always trying to up your game. So
with the addition,
polo,
with the addition of producer Ty and all, we're trying to go professional. Yeah. We're trying to go professional out here. How are things, man? You're still so 2023 has been a great year for chicken fried barbecue, man. It's fun watching. How do you feel this year? How do you feel about your season, man? The only team in America to auto qualify for the Jack. That is saying something, my man. And like last year, I think we had 5 or 6 teams. It's not easy to get 7 qualifying championships to go to Lynchburg, Tennessee, and represent your brand. How you feel about your 23 season, man? And we're not over yet. We still got a couple months left.
Yeah, I mean, obviously last season to get 7 wins and have them be qualifiers, man, a lot of luck played into it, So, and I'm going to take that luck because you need luck in this game. You've got to cook good food and you need to get lucky. And, for me, it just happened that way where, I got lucky at the right moments and I got exactly 7 qualifiers. I didn't get 8. I got them pretty early too. But still, even after my last qualifier, I still had a couple more months. And, I would get a reserve or a 3rd or a 5th. And, you just kind of dance around them. So to be able to get 7, man, I felt super lucky. And it was an incredible experience. I love everything about the Jack Daniels. I thought it was, man, they do a great job in just the whole, from the moment you get there, man, they're really kind of just looking after you. They brought power to my rig. When you check in, they give you your little bong, and mine said 7 wins on it. I think other people's, it says auto or, but man, it was super cool. There's a lot of little history that goes with Lynchburg. And like I said, it's just it's not a super big contest. I think there was maybe 80 teams or something.
Right.
They try to get representation from every state, but the teams that are there, everybody's going around signing barrelheads. They have a parade that you walk in, and the whole town of Lynchburg comes to that parade and kind of lines both sides of the street as you're walking to do the barbecue on the hill. Just a lot of little bitty things, as well as, man, it's a normal KCBS to a certain degree, other than a few minor changes as far as the times and the amount of food you turn in. But I definitely want to be back, and I want to get 7 again. I'm sitting on 2 right now. So, I need to get 5 more before next August.
Yeah, you touched on it, the difference, the special setting in Lynchburg, everybody's there. It feels like one of those, it's obviously not everybody can go, right? I've been, a lot of teams have never been to had that opportunity to go and cook that. And that was your first opportunity. You've been there as an assistant with another team, with other teams. I think you went with Phil maybe. And was that your second time going to that?
That was my 3rd time. I went first, I was a guest of Fred when he went 2 years ago. And then last year I was a guest of Phil. So, cause it's open to the public as well. So kind of anybody can go. There's lots of public walking around. You're not really allowed to feed the public per se, but there is a lot of public there. And, lots of people come in and they go and they walk around. There's, there's food trucks, there's vendors, there's, obviously tours of the distillery, and man, there's lots of activity going on within the town.
So it definitely felt special, right? It didn't feel that's
for sure.
That's describe the setting. I don't know. Is it it seems like just from the pic, no one really kind of does it. Someone needs to do one. If I go, we're going to get a little lay of the land. It feels like you're in a valley or something. I don't know. Maybe you are, maybe
Yeah, I
you're
mean,
not.
you're
But it's a
down in
small
this
town, right?
holler, so
Yeah.
it's down. I mean, you got the main square, which is within walking distance of the teams. So the
Mhm.
main, and it's like Lynchburg's like a one red light type of town. So there's
Yeah.
no hotels there. There's very little Airbnbs. Most of the Airbnbs are, in 25 minutes away in the next couple of towns over. So there's not a whole lot in actual
That
Lynchburg. Most of the restaurants are the next town over. So it's
that
like I said,
is
it's a super small.
that's surprising because we've all heard of Lynchburg, Tennessee, right? Everybody's heard of it because
Yeah.
of Jack Daniels, and you would think it's a large town, but it's not.
Well, and the other thing that's unique about it, it's a dry county. So even though the
Isn't that
whiskey's
crazy?
made there, it is.
That is
So,
that is
man, you're
nuts.
not really allowed to drink. So there's, anyone that does drink at their camp, they usually are putting it into, cups like you're having. You know what I mean? They're not popping, beer cans and like a regular contest. So, and the police, man, they're actively looking for people breaking the law. So it's a pretty quiet. It's not necessarily a big party scene there. Most people are partying at their Airbnbs. They're leaving the cook-off to go party because they have had people thrown in jail in the Lynchburg jail for making too much noise or getting too rowdy. So
Eddie says I had Tito's on site. There he is.
yeah,
Yeah, we'll get to Mrs. Chicken Fried here in just a minute.
Right.
Yeah, I had Tito's on site. Well, Bill, this is for those that don't know. I know a lot of people know the story now, but you're still 4 years in, right? 4 or 5 years
4
in,
years. Yeah, man, it's been a little over 4 years. Yeah.
and that
So
was crazy. And I was there when you attended your
Yep.
first cook off. I believe it was Humble Rodeo. You brought a drum. You were in Fong's camp, and we were kind of set up. Was that your very first one?
no, I did a couple of others
Oh, you did
before
some
that one.
Go Texan ones, I believe.
I did a Go Texan before that, and I think my first one was Diamonds and Dollars. And actually,
Okay.
one of the first contests I went to, you actually GC'd it over at Pitmaker,
Yes.
and I judged at that contest.
Yep. Yep.
So I went in, me and Fong went in, and we were judges, and you were cooking it. I think you won, and maybe Sag Miller reserved, maybe
Something like that. I remember Stacy and Robert were there, and
yeah.
they were in front of me. But yeah, that was you came as with Fong, and I do remember that you and I went to rival high schools, but we didn't know
That's
each
right.
other until
Yeah. But
recently.
we knew a lot of the same people,
Absolutely.
Tad and whatnot. So, but yeah.
Such a good one. This guy. Sorry, I'm late. I was looking at World Series tickets for the Ranger games. That's funny. I like it. But yeah, so 4 years is still a really short time, and I know we have a lot of new players to the game right now. And it's fun seeing there's a lot of new blood coming in, and these guys are really taking off with classes
sure.
and with YouTube,
sure.
whatever it is. The learning curve is more like a learning straight. There's no curve.
There's no
so
big
much.
curve. That's
These
right.
guys come in and start dominating, but you kind of came in right before. You were like that transition whenever the classes were kind of starting and whatnot. But
yeah,
4 years to do what you're doing right now is insane. And for you've skyrocketed up, and it's been awesome to see, because I've seen you, like I mentioned, in one of your very first contests, and to see how you've done now. 20, that was 19, I guess.
Yeah, 19,
19, and 21 or 20, which is the shortened season. There's not a whole much going on there. And then, of course, 21, 22. Pretty awesome. Yeah. How do you feel? You and I kind of talk all the time, but I remember last year it wasn't flowing like you were hoping it would, I think. And then 23 came around, and you knocked off some of them big ass contests early on. How do you feel about this 23 season, man? Because it's been awesome to watch, man. You won San Antonio Rodeo with 298 teams. You turn around and you win Austin Rodeo. I don't know what they got there, 200 plus teams out there.
Right.
It's been fun to watch, man. You've been knocking off these big boys.
Yeah, I mean, it's like I said, I feel like, man, I've just been getting lucky at some of the bigger contests, because even at that month where, man, I won 3 in a row. I won San Antonio, or not San Antonio, but even Austin.
What's up,
I
Grant?
won that one. And then the next week I went and did that IBCA which was I think Stockdale or something, and maybe like 70 teams. I won that one, and then I went to BCA where they were filming the Food Network, and I won
Mhm.
that one. So I had 3 in a row that got me to my 7, and they all happened in 1 month. And that's probably the second time that I've had 3 GCs in a row. So I had 3 GCs in a row back when we did Tomball
Mhm.
doubleheader. I won both days. I don't know if you remember that, where I
I
won
do
both
remember that
days
was
at Tomball.
Memorial Day.
And then I think the next week I went to Cedar Park, which was a KCBS, and won that one. I had kind of forgotten about that, but Sag Miller told me, "Oh no, you won 3 in a row before." I said, "Man, when?" He goes, "You won the doubleheader. Then the very next week you went to Cedar Park KCBS and won that one." So, but yeah, I mean, shoot, man. Sometimes I turn my stuff in and go, "Man, I think I remember talking to Fred. Me and him were next to each other, and I'm like, man, I'm just turning in. I feel like just normal barbecue. I don't feel like it's like earth-shattering, changing barbecue, and I don't know how it wins, but man, sometimes it wins, and sure enough, we're sitting there at awards, and man, I walked all 4 categories at Cedar Park, and I'm just kind of scratching my head thinking, I don't know how this happened, but I'm not going to complain. I'll take it. So
Corby said that's not luck. That is just damn good. No, nope.
uh,
But I agree with you what you said earlier, man. And we say it on the show. You got to cook really good food. You got to put yourself in that ballpark.
yeah,
Then you got to get doubly lucky because tables and judges' palates and whatnot. It's hard, but we've also talked about staying in the middle of the road. I don't know if that's your approach or whatnot. I know a lot of cooks that win talk about that. Is that is that still kind of something you try to look for, or you're just trying to go hammer home runs?
man, I try to push the boundaries of middle of the road for me.
Mhm.
I don't want to be just in the middle. I want to be kind of at the top of the middle.
Yeah.
So I want, like my ribs and brisket, man, I want to hit them with some flavor,
Mhm.
but at the same time too, man, I don't want to over flavor it to where they're just like, oh God, what is all this? You know what I mean? So, I think it's a balance of, if it's just middle of the road, man, I don't want to get 7s or 8s, I want 9s and 10s. So,
Mhm.
I'm always probably a little more pushy on the boundaries, a little heavier on the finishing dust, and to try to make sure that when they taste it, it does leave an impression, if you will. But equally so, man, I don't want it super spicy or, super anything really. So,
Yeah. It's talking to people just watching. Phil always says, hey, you don't want those two O's, right?
yeah.
Nothing too spicy, too sweet, too salty, too whatever. You just want to, you don't want to go to even. And then you talk to Fred's like, just middle of the road barbecue wins, right? And so there's always these different schools of thought, different approaches to finish, to get to where you're going to get to that same finish line that we all hope to be at the end of a Saturday, is holding a trophy as the last man standing. So it's always there he is right there, Frank Rocha. Stay away from those twos. Absolutely.
I think
Absolutely.
obviously tenderness is a huge part.
Mm-hmm.
I
Yes.
went with the weekend before the Jack. I actually cooked Brazoria County, and I won that one, a GC Brazoria County, and they had that outlaw cook where Jamie Greer, giving away
There's Fred
a
right there.
Jambo. And I took off. I dropped my trailer at my house, and I got there and cooked out of Robert Smith's trailer. And man, I didn't have all my supplies. I didn't have anything. And man, I'm just using stuff he's got. Uh, and I'm looking through his drawers. Oh yeah, I'll put some of that on my ribs. I'll put some of this. And what sauce do you have? Oh, I'll just grab this sauce. And man, I ended up hitting the first place rib with 60 teams in an outlaw and got a pretty cool belt buckle, but it wasn't my normal rib. It was just me using what was in Robert's trailer. I used some of his rib sauce, so gotta give him credit. And
Tenderness.
and his finish dust, man, what do you got for finish dust for these ribs? And we just digging through drawers, and we threw something on it, and sure enough, it hit first. So I felt like the rib was a little bit too sweet, and I wanted something salty on those ribs. And we pulled his rub out, I forget the name of it. I think it's Promised Land or whatever. And we finished those ribs with the Promised Land, and sure enough, they hit first. So, and it's just, to me, it's to some degree, and tasting the food, and when it's on the cutting board, and finding the right pieces to put in the box.
Well, we're starting to get a lot more viewers from all over, right? Not just Texas. We got
Yeah.
viewers from now, and I feel like you're the perfect person to talk about tenderness, man, because you in this run of 7, you just mentioned you cooked BCA, you cooked KCBS, you cooked Lone Star, I think, was one of the ones. Obviously, you do a lot of CBAs. How mindful are you? Or you have to be, all right. How mindful are you when you go to a different sanctioning body or different area of just speaking on tenderness? Explain
Well, I
about
mean,
that.
I don't think any judge just my opinion. I don't think any judge, whether you're KCBS, CBA, or any, I don't think anybody wants a tight piece of food. If a judge, you see these KCBS judges, they all show up and they bring coolers because they want to take stuff home. And man, if you turn in a tight rib, which I've done, trying to, scared I'm going to go over. I don't want to go over, and sometimes maybe pull them early. They're sitting at 209. The ribs are sitting at 209, but man, they just don't feel tender enough. Man, I'm going to pull them and throw them in the Cambro and let them finish in the Cambro, and hopefully they'll get tender. But I don't think any judge wants to bite into a tight rib. So I think Tuffy Stone always says that overs beat unders. So if anything, I feel like you always want to be on the side of overcooking things versus undercooking. You're saying too much. So I'm always on the, I'll cut it thick. I'll cut my stuff thick if it's a little bit over, and hopefully it scores versus cooking it tight and cutting it thin. I'd rather cook it over and cut it thick. So
yeah. What's up, Christian? Hope you're doing well. Don't remember, Christian is recovering from a major accident, but he's out there cooking. So it's great to see. What's up, Christian? Good to see you. Tony says, now who doesn't like it tight? All right. That's what Tony is. There he is right there, checking in from the ATL. He might be in Canada right now. I don't know. We were just in Atlanta, and for different reasons. You were just at the Royal Oak Invitational, taking notes, Brad. Mm-hmm. Yeah, Brad's been doing well with Smoking Magic over there.
Yeah, Smoking Magic's crushing it.
They are. They're doing great. But you were just recently at the Royal Oak Invitational, talking to you as Bill was in Atlanta and I was traveling to Georgia. So we did a little high bye because never saw him there, but it was quick and easy. But we were talking about the Royal Oak Invitational, and shout out to Royal Oak. They do a great job for you guys that are on the team, or Team Royal Oak, to support that product. But yeah, exactly. There it is right there. Shut up and listen. Exactly. That's what we say on this show. It's a tagline here. Shut up and listen. So Smoking Gooder Show. But we talked about, what they did for you guys, and talk about that experience too, because man, I don't know where that is. It's like a hidden location unless you're a Team Royal Oak member. You don't know where to go. But it looks great, man. They got a nice pavilion out there. They really take care of you guys that are competing for the Royal Oak Invitational. Talk about that, please.
Man, like I said, it's north of Atlanta, probably about, in relation like the Woodlands to Houston. So it's on the, 45 minutes north of Atlanta, and it's a really nice part of Atlanta, lots of hills, and it's their corporate headquarters. So it's their office, and it's a Royal Oak building. I guess it's probably 4 or 5 stories tall.
Damn.
They clean out the whole parking lot, so they can only fit about 35 teams in the parking lot. And behind it, they've got a huge pavilion, and they roll out the red carpet for the 35 teams that make the list. I think Royal Oak's got a tough job every year. They sponsor about 90 teams, and they've got to pick 35 of those 90 to come, knowing that if you don't get picked, sometimes barbecue people, we're like anybody else. Everybody gets their feelings hurt. They didn't get an invite. So it's a tough job for them to pick 35 teams, and invariably they've got to leave some really good cooks off of that list. So
try trying to pick 10 for a power rankings and see how many people
exactly.
you piss off.
Exactly. So they've got 90, like I said, they've got 90 teams, and they've got to narrow it down, and they don't want to move their event because their event is at their headquarters. It's their office. Right. They invite all their employees. Their employees are there walking around. After we do all of our turn-ins, they give us, a big full-size pan to put our leftovers in, and we go set it on tables next to our team name so all their employees can make plates. And so it's, they roll out the red carpet. Like I said, everything's provided. They feed you every day. They've got demos for their ambassadors. Heath Riles cooking steaks, Malcolm Reed's making drinks. And
what?
Yeah, they got all kinds of stuff going on. So
what'd they have you do?
No,
Bill
no,
Purvis?
I was one of the comp teams, so they have
Right.
some ambassadors that like Malcolm didn't do the comp, Heath didn't do the comp, Al Fragonia was there. He did a picanha for I guess while the comp's going on, they're doing these live demos for a lot of their staff. So, but yeah, the CEO welcomes you all in, and man, he spends at least 30 minutes with a welcome speech, telling everybody how much he appreciates. We're the sales team. They don't have an actual sales team. It's they're kind of relying on us to spread the word.
That's awesome.
But
That's
yeah,
great.
no, it was super cool, super cool. So,
Man, it looked like a great venue, and they, like you mentioned, they take care of you guys from the get.
yeah.
And shout out to
I mean, they
Royal Oak
had
for doing all that.
Waffle
For the
House
teams out there.
catered every morning for breakfast. So there's, Waffle House truck there, and everything you can want from a. I didn't know Waffle House did catering, but man, they do in Georgia. So,
What do you think of Waffle House, Bill?
man, I loved it.
I love freaking Waffle House.
I do too, and I
Man.
was so excited when I saw the Waffle House van in the morning. Man, I went in there and Vanessa was asleep, and I got 2 plates and brought it back, knowing that she probably wasn't going to eat all of hers. So,
Dude,
and I had 2 plates of Waffle House. I was good.
You want a quick and dirty breakfast, especially while traveling. There's a Waffle House every 10 miles driving, especially on the East Coast, driving through Georgia and whatnot. They are all pecan waffles, man. All of them, man. I love Waffle House.
Yeah.
That's I had at least 2 of them on my trip to Georgia. We hit one in Alabama, driving through there, and then we hit another one while in Georgia. Good stuff. Shout out to Waffle House.
Waffle House was magic. So.
No, but that's awesome. And
man, there's teams from all over the country there, so that you get to see a bunch of Royal Oak teams that you don't normally see. So it was pretty cool,
No, it's neat. Yeah, teams from all over the country. My good friends over at Rum Runners were there. They hit a first place brisket and some other.
And the winner of the Jack was there. Uncle Pigs, the winner of the American Royal, Faded Barbecue. They were there. So,
I don't need a sponsor for a while. I can pay my $15 and load up and be fat and happy on the way out of there. Man, that's good stuff.
Right.
Yes. So, all right. Yes. Faded Barbecue. You mentioned the Royal just now. They won the Invitational day 1. They did. I didn't go through and read everything that happened as far as I know they announced, for those that don't know, they had a scoring discrepancy, but today they actually came around with the audit results. And I didn't read any of that. Did you read any of that at all?
I've read bits and pieces of it, and I listened to a couple of podcasts that Rod Gray was on.
Okay. Kind
of explaining, I guess, they were merging stuff from different computers. And if you read the report, some of the KCBS reps were using their home computers, and, they had different corrective action stuff. So, but they've got a couple of known glitches, and they call their system Score. Is the name of the program that they use. It's called Score, and seemingly there's a couple of known glitches inside of Score that when they start to have multiple systems merging into one, it defaults to 6 trays on a table. So if there's 7 trays on the table, then man, it kicks 1 tray off. And so man, they got their hands full to try to fix some of these glitches, I guess,
Yeah,
and seemingly that only happens at really big contests.
Man, crazy.
They don't really merge a lot of data at a normal KCBS. They're not using several different computers to merge the tabulation results. So, but the Royal is definitely one that takes several computers, and they've got to merge data. And like I said, there's a couple of defaults and quirks inside the system that, man, they got their hands full to try to fix it for sure. So,
we've been through this. You've been through this with with another organization, and they get it right. As long as they go back and they get it right and do their thing. Unfortunately, things are going to happen, and
that's right.
They went for a full audit, and it's public right now. You can go on the KCBS.us and see their report. And shout out to them for going.
And I
back
think everybody in barbecue is
right.
trying to do the right thing. Everybody in barbecue wants to announce the right winner, no matter what sanction. But I think if it happens to any sanction body, man, it's terrible. And it's terrible. Most of them are full of volunteers that, man, they want to do what's right for barbecue, and they're trying to give back. Man, they don't want to announce the wrong winner. So it's, man, I feel like I said that, and I don't think anybody in barbecue is trying to maliciously make somebody a winner and somebody not a winner.
No, that's across every organization. I don't
everyone
think
exactly.
There are people want to talk and do something and maybe put doubt in people's mind, but no, trust me, no organization anywhere is trying to do that, because if that got out, if that were ever something that did happen,
Yeah.
when the Royal is several contests with then they're done. They're toast. They're done. Their integrity is gone, and no one will want to cook that. So no one is out there doing that. So if people are out there saying or thinking that, no, that did not happen. So shout out to them for going about it. And then we had Janky Leg on. It was our last guest.
Yes.
Shout out to Jordan Kirkpatrick.
Mhm.
He actually, once the audit was all done, he was the rightful winner, and shout out to him. And then we didn't have him yet, but I'd like to get Machete Boys on as well and talk to him.
Well, and also too, I don't know if you saw the live awards at the Jack, but they did. They are going to invite both teams to cook the Jack next year.
That's right. And the Houston as well.
And Houston Rodeo agreed to let both teams come on Champions Row.
Did you give up one of your 3 spaces that you have in Houston?
No, I'm just making extra room for those boys. So,
Hi, Candy.
And I was listening to a podcast today, and Rod Gray said that, man, that was all Darren Worth that kind of organized that and made the phone calls. Kind of Rod was trying to, filter through and, get the results and deal with the audit and all the rest of it. And Darren Worth took it upon himself to make a couple of phone calls and get that kind of organized. So shout out to Darren Worth for, looking after those guys and making sure they both get spots.
What's up, Belle? How are you, ma'am? So let's talk about the Royal since we're talking about it. You Chicken Fried had a good weekend out there.
Yeah, I did. I got a couple of ribbons, a couple of walks. Day one, we got a 10th place brisket walk, which I thought was my worst meat of the 4 that I turned in. And it just there's Urkel. He won the Jack Daniels. So
this guy won the Jack Daniels?
Yep, Urkel is the Jack Daniels World Championship. So
Urkel.
He was team of the year last year, and me and him were parked next to each other at the Jack. And man, he's a beast. He left his Uncle Pig's Barbecues his team.
Uncle Pig's, okay.
But left the Royal Oak. There's a double in I think Virginia, 12 hours after awards at Royal Oak. He drove all the way to this day 2 contest.
Oh my God.
And I think it's where Brad and Jenkin were at. And I think he ended up getting I know he didn't get any sleep. There's no way. I mean, it was as long a drive. I looked at it. It was as long as it took him to get there. It's the same distance from Royal Oak to my house here in Texas. And he left right after awards, 5 o'clock or whatever it was, and drove all the way there and cooked day 2 and ended up, I think he was 4th or 5th overall on day 2. So
Urkel, we need you on the show, brother. We need you on
Urkel
the show.
Urkel is a beast. He will be in Houston. I'm trying to organize a trailer for him to use so he can fly in and use a rig to cook on drums. So that guy
don't need to fly. Apparently, that guy he can handle some windshield.
He can roll some windshield time for sure. But super great guy and a badass cook as well.
Belle says, "Great to see you, Bill." Yesterday, apparently.
No, I saw Belle at the barbecue store. She was grabbing a few items for Tomball this weekend, so she'll be out there slinging some meat. So
awesome. Yeah, Urkel, I'd love to get you on the show as well. I've said your name on this show. My KCBS co-host Chris Schaefer from Heavy Smoke Barbecue definitely has included you on a couple of his power rankings. So I have said Uncle Pig's Barbecue. I didn't know that was your name. And but yeah, awesome. I'd love to get you on there, and congratulations winning the Jack. My goodness, especially love to be on your show, sir. Awesome. Very nice. There's Grant Coleman checking in from Australia. He says, hello, Bill.
Yeah, I was messaging him earlier today talking about maybe going to Australia and doing a comp. It's not necessarily on my bucket list, but my wife really wants to go to Australia. So man, happy wife, happy life. So at some point we're going to try to get across the pond and burn some meat in a parking lot over there.
Dude, we need to go to Meat Stock. We talked about it on the show with another Grant Neal, and
right.
That's a fun barbecue festival, and they know how to party down under Australia in July. There's Eddie.
Eddie will be there. Eddie's everywhere. He's international. He goes.
Eddie
everywhere.
is international.
He
winning in Mexico. Shout out to Eddie Madrano. He's all over the place, just killing it here in Houston and Mexico. Now he's
Brazil. He's everywhere.
Oh, he's all over Meat Stock in Brazil. There he is. My God, the Barbecue Depot. There it is, right there. That would be so freaking awesome. What's up, Anna Bryce? They are regulars. at the Jack. I mean,
No, they always go to the Jack.
there
so,
cannot have a
yeah.
Jack without Anna and
Yeah.
Scotty
Yeah.
and Scotty Bryce. Well, speaking of your wife, man, she's been killing it with desserts, brother. We
She
talked
has.
about the Royal, we talked about the Jack, but she got perfect score 180 at both of those contests. Yeah, there we go. Can we get Vanessa on the
Yep.
show? She's pretty much a perfect 180.
Man, she's
And
in
in
there
dessert-
crushing graham crackers as we speak, you know.
And in dessert, for those that don't know how hard it is to get a 180, there are at the Royal at least there's 200 dessert entries. I don't know how many there are. There may be more than that, but
she knows exactly. I think it was 185, and she
Okay.
corrects me if I'm wrong.
well, there you go. I said 200, but a 185, which is still amazing. And I remember Phyllis Kirkendall, Tim's wife, Renegade Barbecue. The first year she competed was last year, so 2021, and she had her dessert, and she was upset because she turned it in a box. She comes back and she's like, "People aren't turning in their stuff in a box." It was like, no, I wish you would have asked me, because it is elaborate. I mean, some of these are staged, probably have
man, some of them got
scaffolding
smoke
and
machines
everything.
on them
It's
and everything,
nuts,
you know.
man. It is so
Yeah.
nuts. But it's such a hard contest to win. My wife has also had a perfect score there, but Vanessa's doubled it down. She had a perfect score at the Royal, then 3 weeks later at the Jack does it again.
Yeah.
Pretty awesome. She's been putting chicken fried barbecue also on the map.
Well, and I was giving her grief too, because for the Royal, she had actually bought an oven that we took with us that she used in the hotel. So
Nice.
it was a small oven. And when we're going to the Jack, I'm like, "Hey, where's the oven?" She goes, "I'm just going to use the oven from the Airbnb at the Jack." And I'm like, "Man, you've never used that oven. How you know how it's going to cook? I mean, you've been practicing on this, oven we plug into the wall. It's like some kind of little counter oven." And she goes, "No, I'll be fine. I'll be fine." I'm like, "Man, you're kid poking me. You're changing cookers every week. You need to, we should have brought the freaking oven." And so I was kind of giving her grief on, man, I hope that Airbnb's oven's pretty good. Because every oven's a little different, just like every smoker. And she's changing smokers on me midstream. But sure enough, man, she did her thing and she got in there. So, man, we were super happy and she's super pumped. And, KCBS mailed us our our 180 pins, because I actually 180 pork. So we got two 180 pins and
Awesome.
a little card. And she's like, "I want this one." One of them was a star and one of them was round. So she's picking out which 180 pins hers. And I left it off my post, my pork 180. But yeah, she's pretty pumped. So
That's awesome. How many 180s is that for you now? You probably a few now, huh?
yeah, I'm not really sure. Quite a few. So yeah. I don't know.
CBA,
Yeah.
for those who don't know, both Bill and I are on the board with CBA. Bill is director of everything.
Yeah, everything.
General
Everything. Yeah,
general
everything.
director.
Yeah.
Our good man Fred's in the comments. Where's Roddy? Roddy hasn't been on the show in a while. I gotta get on Roddy's ass. But anyway, we just recently came out with something similar to that. Not the 180, but the 777. What do you think about that, Bill? I think that's pretty cool. Give somebody
Man, I love
something
it.
to shoot for. Yeah.
Man, the first week it was open, I actually scored a 777 exactly. So the
Nice.
GC in Brazoria County was a 7-7, and it was the week before the Jack. So I was like, man, I scored a 777, and man, I got 7 wins to get to the Jack. Hopefully, this is going to be a good sign. And needless to say, with every contest, if you don't win it, you kind of, there's
A little upset. Yeah.
a little bit. But at the end of the day, man, I tied for first place brisket at the Jack. I got a barrel head. So I ended up getting second place brisket, which, man, I was happy to get a barrel head and finish 10th overall.
So with the 70,000 in the comments, if you are a CBA cook, what do y'all guys think of the 777? I think it's a 777 club. I think it's pretty cool to go, and it's something, a benchmark to strive for and hit. And if you do it 777, chances are you're going to win a contest or at least be in the top 5 for sure. There's Kevin Hernandez, my pizza bird. I think it's awesome. 777. There we go. Yep. Roger is mad that Mrs. Purvis got a 180 in dessert. I don't think he's mad. Why would
He's
that?
mad because there wasn't much leftovers.
Oh yeah, he didn't get one. I see what you're doing there, Tony. Yeah, I think it's really cool for CBA to come out with something like that as well, and give Cook something to strive for. And we have the perfect 200 score is what we have here in CBA, and now we have we are working on getting the 777 stickers. Fred, I did send you that link. I hope you got that today. I sent that about a little after 5. I told Fred, hey, remind me like 8 to 5. Because that's when I'm like alert. Afterwards, you might get it the next day if I see it. But yeah, what you smoking got first 777 this weekend? All right.
Nice.
Well, I think it was
Nice.
it probably was on the list that
Yep.
was posted.
Yep, it was.
So so we're 3 weeks in on that. I want my no back pay, bro. You just got to do it again, and Caesar, you will.
Caesar will for sure.
He will for sure. Michelle Martinez, they joined the club this weekend.
Yeah.
It's an exclusive club, so it's fun. It's definitely fun. Speaking of CBA, you want to talk about anything we got going on? Being
well, World Championships coming up.
Absolutely, we just announced that. That's going to be February 14th weekend in Seguin. We got the World Championships. If you guys don't know about that, make sure you sign up for that. Registration's not open yet.
Not yet, no.
But we did make an announcement. That's going to happen the weekend of February 16th and 17th in Seguin, Texas. That's going to be the CBA. It's going to be our third CBA World Championship and banquet. So if you guys are hitting that up, we're going to come right back to Bill. Bill, you got a few more minutes. We're going to go over. I'm going to do the okay, cool. If you guys have any rate my boxes,
real quick,
go check the tires.
Yeah.
And we'll pull Bill down, but we'll come right back with Bill Purvis because we got a couple of housekeeping things to do. But if you guys are interested in sending us a box for the Rate My Box, please do so. Send it to my personal Facebook page, Rob Arocha, Arocha, and we'll try and get them on the show. I think I've got a couple only so far. So we're going to do the Bull Printing Wraps and Graphics wrap-up recap, which is long because I missed last week, and there were a lot going on all across the nation. We did what's up, Smoking Joe's? What's going on? Can't wait for there you go. Yeah, this man may be called a few times at the CBA World Championship and banquet. That is my pits are burnt, Mr. Kevin Hernandez. All right, well, I'm going to pull a slide up. We're going to do the Bull Printing Wraps and Graphics wrap-up recap, sponsored by Bull Printing Wraps and Graphics. In the Champions Barbecue Alliance, again, I missed last week, so I do want to go back because these people earned their spot to be spoken about on this show right here. Pit Kings Laredo 2023 Grand Champion, Mr. Phil Breeden. No.
Hey everybody, Phil Breeden, owner and founder of LC Barbecue, and you're watching the So Smoking Gooder Show.
There, the RGC was Armando de Luna from Los Milagros Q Crew. They've been killing it right there. And Booby Q and Tomball, Grand Champion Julie and Dustin Stanley from Twisted Flames, also from We Branded Promotions and the barbecue store in Hempstead. The RGC Corbin Stone from Smoking Donkeys, the Fall Free for All Barbecue Cook-Off, Grand Champion Michelle and Adam Martinez from Amp Cookers. That happened this past weekend. The RGC was Eric Riojas from Come and Taste It. Cooking for Kids, Grand Champion Joe and Jennifer Webster, Rollin' Smoke. RGC was Belly Up Barbecue. Didn't catch their name, I'm sorry. Oinktoberfest, we're still in CBA. Grand Champion Mario Benavides from Chillin' and Grillin'. RGC Cesar Mejia from Smoking and Toasting. He's in the comments right now. Bayou Fest Cook-Off. Grand Champion was What You Smoking. I think it's David Hernandez is who that was. RGC was G-Town Cookers. Not sure that name. Sorry. Battlin' Barbecue. Grand Champion Uwe Braun. Beer Bellies Barbecue. The RGC was Grady Speed Grade A Barbecue. All right. That was in the CBA. Over in the IBCA. All right. Here comes the pictures now. They're coming in right now. 22nd Annual Breast Cancer Awareness Cook-Off. Grand Champion was Tommy Smith from Bent Nail Barbecue. RGC Chuck Long, Texas Rebel Smokehouse. 25th annual Piney Woods Classic Grand Champion Jeremy Skrabanek from Big Slick Cooker. The RGC, he's in the comments right now. My good friend Jeff Dennison from Texas Red Dirt Cookers. What's up, Jeff? Congratulations. We have the Advo HTO Barbecue for Hope. Grand Champion Eric Torres from Uppercut Smokers. RGC Cole Bradford. B-Man's Barbecue. Brazos Valley Fair Barbecue Cook-Off. Grand Champion Jamie Barron. Post Oak Cookers. RGC Amy Wilson. What's up, Amy? Crooked Crown Cookers. Still in the IBC. Cuero Turkey Fest. Grand Champion Blake Schindel, Alley Cats, RGC Sam Freeze, Triple Up Barbecue, TYOC's annual barbecue cook-off, Grand Champion Tom Clark, JC's good old boys. What's up, Tom?
Congratulations, Tom.
There he is right there. RGC back again. They doubled up. Michelle and Adam Martinez from Amp Cookers. That was 2 weeks ago. We had the Boots for Troops concert in the country. Grand Champion Clyde Jones, Wasted Sauce. RGC David Lindquist, No Maintenance. MK Annual Barbecue Cook-Off. Grand Champion John Smith, Highlander Barbecue. RGC Leo Alvarez, Bigodes Barbecue. In Battle for Big Bertha, Grand Champion Ira Green. We have.
I'm Ira Green from Kingsbury, Texas with Flying G Barbecue. You're watching live on the Smoking Gooder Show. So Smoking Gooder Show. I fucked that all up. Ira Green with Flying G Barbecue from Kingsbury, Texas. Watching live. Ira Green with Flying G Barbecue from Kingsbury, Texas. And you're watching the So Smoking Gooder Show.
All right. Shout out to Ira Green for that classic intro. Appreciate that. Guys, send me more intros. We need some more intros. All right, and then Gregory Velasquez from Velasquez Barbecue. Velasquez, sorry. There we go. That was in the IBCA LSBS. We're almost done, people. Again, that's what happens when you miss a week. But I want to give shout-outs to all these guys that have happened to win. Lampasas Barbecue Cook-Off. Grand Champion Chris Kyle. RGC was Chris Herring. Red River Barbecue Battle. Grand Champion Bubba Garrett. RGC David Leffler. Over in the Outlaw Barbecue Association. Eldorado Guns and Hoses, Grand Champion Jack Cashman from Cashman Q. RGC Brian Irby, Big E Barbecue. Dangerfield Days, Grand Champion Dwayne Anderson. RGC Danny Lilly. And Rose Hill, Grave Hill Benefit. We had the Grand Champion Mike Bryce. Is it Mike? Yeah, with Poking and Smoking. And the RGC Anna and Scotty Bryce. It was a family affair. East Texas Smokers. There's Case Hahn in the house. How are you doing, Case? Hope you're doing well, bro. All right, and then I had one more. KCBS. There were a lot of teams from Texas, or a couple teams from Texas that were there. We just talked about the Royal Oak Invitational. Grand champion was Razor Racks in the RGC Rooters and Tutors Barbecue. And we did talk about, I'm going to bring Bill in real quick. Bill has some insight on some of these teams. Talking about the Team of the Year standings. It's coming to an end. I think, is it this weekend, the last weekend, Bill?
This weekend is the last weekend. Yep.
All right. And it's pretty tight at the top. We got Brad from Getting Basted with 2763. Janky Leg, who y'all saw last week or 2 weeks ago on the show. Jordan with 2747. Chunky Barbecue, 2690. Under the Radar with 2624. Man, I think maybe a GC might help these guys. I don't know. It's pretty tight. Smoked and Furious, 2604. Colorado Bulldog, Levi, he might be in the comments still. Case and Tony Tanache after show. That'd be nice. That'd be fun.
Right.
We got Off the Rack Barbecue, Pig and Whiskey, Meat Rushmore, and then there he is right there, Urkel with Uncle Pig's Barbecue, sitting pretty close. So top 10, pretty tight, especially the top. The top three are very tight right there, within 100 points of each other. So don't know how it's going to shake out, but congratulations to them for being there right at the end. We'll see how that goes. And then in the CBA, oh, look at this guy. There he is right there.
Sexy.
Sexy.
Barbecue sexy.
Barbecue sexy. There's Bill. That was a lot of information there. The Bull Printing Wraps and Graphics wrap-up recap. Shout out to Bull Printing Wraps and Graphics. That's where you can find all of your banners, stickers, wraps, whatever you need. They can take care of you as well.
I think most of those teams that you mentioned, the KCBS, a lot of those teams, there's a double header this weekend in the Kansas City area called Booby Q. And I think that's where Janky and Brad and a lot of those teams, it's obviously team of the year race. They get 2 shots, 2 contests to I think if Janky GCs, then he'll jump Brad. But if Brad GCs, then I think it'll be hard for, Janky. I don't know what happens. I think if Brad GCs, he probably shuts it all down, and Brad wins. But if Janky wins, then he does jump in front of Brad. And I think they're both sitting at like 9 GCs or something. So a reserve or a third place does nothing for anybody, at least for those top 2 spots.
Well, that's like, I'm watching the Phil and Kevin run.
Right. Yep.
They need GCs
to make any moves,
to barely move the needle. I mean,
Yeah.
it really depends on how many teams are going to be in attendance. And I'm sure that's the same way with what they got going on in the KCBS point standing. All right. Last order of business before we get Bill back on is the upcoming event segment. Over in Champions, sponsored by the Briscoe Ranch Cook-Off at the Crossroads, coming up December 8th and 9th. Here pretty quick. We are less than about 6 weeks away. Make sure you register. I'm talking to myself. I need to do that as well. This weekend where I will be, this is a contest near and dear to my heart. It is the 4th annual PHA Steak and Bacon and Q. It's 4th annual, but this is the first time that we're doing barbecue. I am on the board with PHA as patient housing assistance, and what we do is we supply housing for people that come to our great city of Houston for medical treatment. That could be cancer, could be whatever it may be. Patient housing assistance supports people coming in by providing housing for them, so they have one less thing to think about while they're battling whatever they may be battling. That's going to be in Tomball, Texas this weekend at the Tomball VFW. Drink, that's where I'll be. It's the 4th annual PHA Steak and Bacon and Q. We've got Kid Zone. There's going to be a petting zoo. We've got bands. We've got vendors. We've got food trucks. It's going to be a good time out there. Love to have you join us. Come on out to Tomball. The bands that I mentioned, we've got Nightbird, which is a badass Fleetwood Mac tribute band. They're going to be there. And Telluride. If you guys have never heard Telluride, they bring the energy. It's a country band. It's a good time. So I'm looking forward to that. It's the 4th annual PHA Steak and Bacon in Q cook-off. And it is, you guys see, anytime I put a little Texas designation for a Texas cook-off, it is a state championship. I know we've qualified. This is our 1st annual, so we have enough teams. And we're looking for more to make that a state qualifier. All right, 3rd annual Battle on the Border. That's going to be in Westlaco, Texas. Also a state championship. We got the Hunters Roundup in Campwood, Texas. 10th annual Friends for Wishes. I wouldn't at PHA. I'd probably be there. That's going to be in Hempstead. That is also a state championship in the city of Somerset. Another state championship in Somerset, Texas. That's what's going on this weekend at the Champions Barbecue Alliance over in IBCA. We have the Anderson County Go Texan in Palestine, Texas. Get the Blues, Brews, and Q at Madisonville. Chili Spill. That's a joint barbecue and chili cook-off in Flatonia, Texas. That's a pretty famous chili barbecue cook-off, I believe. We got the Fall City Volunteer Fire Department Beaver Dam cook-off in Fall City. And Rainouts, Caleb Warden's cook-off is going to be in LaPorte, Texas. And I believe there's a big Adam and Michelle showdown down there. So Adam and Michelle are in the comments. I believe they are going to be down in LaPorte. Over in the Lone Star Barbecue, they got the Ray Estes Barbecue Cook-Off. That is a state championship in San Augustine. We got the Ballinger Fall Festival in Ballinger, Texas. And over in Outlaw, there it is. Case. We got the National Championship Barbecue Cook-Off. Oh, he's bringing it more. In Meridian, that's going to be an Outlaw. That is a state championship. We got the Flower Mound Smoke Fest in Flower Mound, Texas. Also a state championship. Oh, hey, that's a good idea, Curtis. Who are you pulling for? Team Michelle or Team Adam? That's going to be in, like I said, LaPorte. And Bill mentioned this a little earlier. In KCBS, we have 2 big cook-offs. They have a lot more, obviously, than 2, but these are the big ones that are kind of being the players out there for the end of the year. We got the BBQ Championship, like Bill mentioned. That's a double. That's going to be in Oak Grove, Missouri. And where Bill's going this weekend, not only Bill, Sure Shot, I believe, is going to be out there. Willie's going to be out there, and probably Phil. A number of teams are heading out to Smoke in the Water in Pine Bluff, Arkansas, to do a big payout cook-off out in Arkansas, KCBS event. All right, that's going to wrap up the Bullprint. No, I'm sorry. That's going to wrap up the Briscoe Ranch cook-off at the Crossroads upcoming event segment. Again, if you can hear my voice, go out to Uvalde. It's great. Wade and his crew doing a phenomenal job of putting out everything Bill mentioned that happened at the Royal Oak. Wade's already done that. He provides food, provides all the good stuff out there. And as seen on Food Network, that's where it was last year.
No, Wade does a great job. It's a great contest for sure.
It is a great contest, and they're bringing back pork. Bringing back pork this year. Yeah, it was a 3-meat contest last year, but this year, 4 meats. Back at it.
And ribeye steak on Friday night.
And ribeye steak. All right. What we'd talked about something right before I pulled you out of there, or Bill, to go check the tires. You good? You checked the tires? You ready to go?
Tires have been checked. I'm in good shape. So,
what was for dinner tonight?
Pork chops. She made award-winning 180 perfect pork chops. So she seasoned them with a little blanco and fried them in the skillet. And those thin pork chops, man, I love thin pork chops with a little char on them from the skillet. I wasn't keen on the green beans and salad, but man, at my age, you got to start eating greens. So it is what it is. But
they told you it's green time.
It's green time, man. Diabetes, you got to eat more vegetables. So, but I still ate 2 pork chops. So,
well, there you go. Hey, pork chops, I think they're not bad. They're not bad for you. It's a lean meat.
It is lean, and it's today, man, everything's so freaking expensive. Pork chops and pork's pretty cost effective as far as going to the grocery store and trying to put a meal together. I mean,
yeah,
man, it can cost you an arm and a leg. You might as well just go out to eat.
So we don't have a whole bunch, which is fine. I like that. Sometimes this segment can go long all the time. Manny Moreno, what is up, man? Talking about killing some pork right there.
Right. Oh, he's pork god.
He's been doing great. He held his own out in Kansas City. He won hogs for the cause.
Yeah.
He's just doing a phenomenal job out there.
Got him a square trophy at the Royal,
Yes.
He got wood,
He got wood. There's nothing to shake a stick at right there. All right.
Yeah, he won first place pork at the KCBS Invitational too, 2 years ago. He was first place pork world champion several times over. So
at the KCBS Invitational.
Yeah. KCBS World Invitational, Shawnee Emanuel won first place pork. So
I love it.
That was his first world champion. So I think it was his first world champion. So
how many world champions do you have now, Bill?
Nah, I've stopped counting them, so
I mean, the world champions are special.
I'm counting San Antonio as one.
Okay. I did as well this past weekend. And because it is, and we've talked about it on the show, that people that talk about barbecue have to mention San Antonio as a world championship because there are international teams. It is 300 teams. And to me, it's a more difficult contest to win. And Bill won it than Houston Livestock Show and Rodeo. You have true teams out there, whereas Houston is a mix. Right now, we have some people are pulling in ringers, but teams that go to Houston have been it's hard to get in. You can't get in, you can't get out. So it's teams. Sometimes teams are there. There's 230 teams there, and they may do that only event, that one event only for the rest of the year. So
Typically I don't consider categories necessarily a world champion, but being that I won first place sauce at the Jack Daniels, man, I'm starting to lean that way.
I didn't know that chicken fried had a sauce. Talk about that, Billy.
Man, I can't. It's all. I've signed a contract. I can't disclose. But
Okay, you got an
it's in the works.
NDA on the
It's in the
sauce.
works.
All right.
So I think it was a collaboration of me, Manuel, Fred, even Heavy Smoke got in there. It's so funny. We had mixed up a sauce. I got to tell you the story because Chris is so funny. And me and Manuel had mixed up this sauce, and Manuel's doing what I told him to do. And man, you got to use Jack Daniels, so I guess poured some Jack Daniels in there. And I was busy, I don't know, doing chicken or something, butter bathing my chicken because sauce is pretty early. It's before chicken. I think it's the first turn in. So he takes it over to Schaefer because Schaefer's right next door to us, and he has Schaefer taste it. He says, "How do I fix this? What do I do? Because it tastes like Jack Daniels, And Schaefer looks at him and says, "Start over." And actually, Schaefer told him, "Man, pour the alcohol in there and then burn it out, set it on fire and burn out the alcohol, and then add your sauces." So, man, that's what he did. And then Manuel brought it to me after he mixed up some stuff. And man, I took a bottle of my.
Oh,
I took a bottle of one of the rubs that I had and just kind of coated the whole top of it and stir that in there. And so Manuel stirred it in. We poured it in the cup and turned it in. So when they called us out for first place sauce, and of course, I think Manuel was under the direction of Fred as well. So it was like a 3-part between Manuel, Fred, and then me adding all this seasoning at the end. I come back and I tell Manuel's like, "Oh, we won sauce." I said, "Man, I had to fix it at the end, throwing that seasoning in there." And
oh man, whatever.
I said, do you remember what you did, Manuel? He goes, "No, not really."
So funny story. We were in Tomball and we were all watching My Little Phone, but I had it hooked up to the speaker so we could hear everything, but we could really not see pretty much anything.
Yeah.
But then they called, Bill Purvis. Did they play your music? They played your music.
They did, yeah. Somehow or another, cool. They ended up playing my song on my walks, which
I love it.
Crazy.
It's pretty neat. You get a walk-up song. You're not even in a CBA contest, and
right.
They're like, "What do you win? What do you win?" And somebody said sauce. We're like, "What?" It's like Bill has sauce now.
Well, I'm sitting next to Fred, and they're going through the top 10, and Fred goes, "Man, that's a really good sauce. That sauce is a really good sauce. Man, it should hit. It should hit, And it got down and got down. He's like, "Man, that's a really good sauce." And sure enough, well, the winner, another repeat winner, because we'd already won dessert. We'd already gotten a call in dessert. So, and they're from Texas. I was like, "Oh shit, here we go. We just won the dinner." Which sauce paid more than anything. So sauce,
really?
Sauce paid more than dessert, and you're putting it in a cup this big, like a little office coffee cup. You don't put I don't want very much. It's just a small little styrofoam cup, but man, paid $2,000 and a barrel head and a big Orca cooler with the Jack Daniels logo on it.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah. So
damn. Well, I'm certain. No wonder y'all turned in sauce. That's great.
Yeah, if you go to the Jack, make sure you turn in sauce because I think first place dessert maybe paid $1,000, where first place sauce paid $2,000. So,
and if you go to the Jack, do what you did. You and I talked about it. You did everything, man. You did the meet and greet, the parade.
Got a 7 on sauce appearance.
She put beans in it. What the hell did you do?
I might have got a 6 on texture too. I'm not sure.
Got a 7 on appearance. It was probably he might have
turned lying. He's not lying. There are plenty of people that got 7s on appearance.
Did he try that Alabama white sauce or something? I don't know
what there's no telling what Mississippi comeback sauce. There's no telling what he put in that jar.
He said no lie.
Right.
You gotta delete that. Delete that comment. Oh, look. You're big time when you get spammers.
That's right. That's right.
So shout out to the Gooder gang. You guys are pulling in the spammers now. I appreciate that. On Twitch, of course, it's got to be Twitch. Well, cool. So we're gonna do. I know that we've talked to you before while we did the Mount Rushmore, but you can change it up a little bit now. It's a different time period. Think about your Mount Rushmore while I do some of these. Rate my boxes, and then we'll get out of here. pretty
Gotcha.
quick. We're gonna keep it. We're gonna keep it a little short and sweet tonight. We're not gonna go the full 2 hours. But I did get Ty. If you want to play some music, I did get some boxes. We got about it looks like 5 boxes here. We got chicken, we got a rib, we got a brisket, pork. So they're all represented. We only got 5, but they're all represented. This one, y'all know how we do. If it looks like a, let's see what this one is real quick. This is okay. That's going to be a KC. Okay, let me get off these. All right, that's going to be a KCBS box. If it looks like it's got kale in it, 9's your best score. If it doesn't, 10's your best score. All right, here we go. First one will be not that one. I want y'all to rethink about that. This is going to be a CBA box. So your best score is a 10. We'll pull that down in 3, 2, 1. All right, Gooder Gang, do your thing with that one. Okay, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 8. Tony, explain yourself, please. A lot of 10s on that one. Michelle, a 9. Harold, a 9. To me, look pretty solid. I thought that was pretty good. We got some burn ends on the sides, which is a different presentation. I think that might. What'd you think, Bill?
It looked like they used rib grind, so I'm gonna have to give them a 10. So, I thought I saw some black pepper rib grind on that brisket, so it's definitely a 10 for me. So
to me, that's a solid 10. If anybody wants to explain why they gave it a 9, or Tony, in your case, an 8, please do. Although, never mind, Tony's 8s are 10. Tony is like 2 levels below what it is. All right, the next.
hey, you got a handicap, Tony. Add 2 to whatever.
Yeah, I think you got to add 2. Okay, never mind. He's explaining. Looks like roast beef, burnt ends, showing off that slices were too narrow. I don't know if they were too narrow. Maybe they were too long. Box it, put some of the burnt ends in there. Hey, I think it's a good technique if you we got a little long on them. All right, we got 4 more going. I'll let Ty pick because I don't even want to pick. I'll let Ty pick whichever is next. All right, we got that chicken box. Ty's going to leave it up there for about another 8 seconds. All right, time for the Gooder Gang to do their thing on that one. 10, probably first place. Might have been Sean's. I don't know. Handicap, how? No, what the hell? 8 from Wes. Wes, explain yourself. Okay, well, 9's your best score here. That's not a bad score, I guess. It's fire for sure. Only thing for me is burnt ends were not okay. So she's commenting on the brisket box that we saw earlier. All right, even with oddball sizes. Okay. All right. What'd you think of that, Bill?
I'd give it a 9.
You give it a 9.
Yeah, it looked like it would taste good. So I'd give it a 9.
I talked to who's the gentleman that's he's a seasoned KCBS judge, and
Eric Cantrell.
Yeah, it was Eric. Eric.
Yeah.
Eric said unless it like jumps out to him that it's not a 9, it's always a 9. Basically, is what he told me. It's like you have to.
And 9s are pretty easy to get in KCBS.
Yeah, he said you have to do something really crazy for me not to give you a 9. But hey, if it looks weird or it looks different off color, of course he's gonna dock you. But for the most part, you have to do something pretty crazy for Eric, and he's a
master judge.
Yeah, he's a master judge. He's done. Has he been with
probably,
you?
Yeah. I mean, no, I haven't. I mean, he's hung out at my trailer. He hung out at my trailer at the Jack after brisket turn-in. He sat there and bullshitted with us all the way until awards. So he's a super nice guy.
Super cool guy.
Yeah.
All right, Ty, let's bring another one up here. We only got 3 more to do. This is a pork box, obviously. Would you say that's daring? Yeah, Eric is one of the best judges. Wes is in the comments. I think we locked this down, and Wes is going to be our guest next week on the show, which he can comment on the team
Probably
of the year.
it'll probably crater the ratings, but it's a brave move.
I don't know. I love Wes. Wes is with politically incorrect, but we'll talk about the team of the year. We'll talk about him. His first time on the show. A lot of guys are giving this box an 8. Tony, the wood used to cook that had more moisture. And whoever's box that is, don't listen. I mean, Tony's just.
It does look a little dry. The pool does look a little dry.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. What
could
can help
probably
that,
use a
Bill?
little
What can
bit
help
of,
that, even if it
sauce
is dry?
sauce or au jus or
Maybe some duck fat.
And stamp it.
How did Phil get in here? Let's pull that one down, Ty. Did you hear Phil?
No. Mm-mm.
Can you not hear Phil? Play it
No.
again, Ty.
And stamp it.
If you're gonna put it in the box, put it in the box.
And stamp it.
Stamp it, baby.
Phil snuck in there. We got one more to show. There it was. I remember what I wanted to ask you, and I told you to think about the Mount Rushmore. I know you've done it before, but we'll go over that before we close out of here. We got a couple more, I believe, Mr. Ty. What we got? Oh, this is old school.
Old school, huh?
Maybe a little Lone Star box here. We got a couple of birds. A little spoon in action over here. What's going on in here?
Little freaking hold a hole action or something. So,
That was pole to hole. Is that what you said?
no, hold a hole. Don't go pole to hole.
Oh yeah, that's that. Yeah, you're right. All right,
Hold a hole is no good. So.
All right, so that was a double old school Texas box. 10. Let's see what we got here. To me, it looks like they're trying to twerk Tony's box.
Tony's box.
Come on, guys. Let's see some comments on here or some numbers here. 10's a perfect. 10 would. I guess we'll say 10's a perfect score. Your balls are square. All right, the show's starting to get off the road. We still got 72,000 people watching. 9. No one gives it a 10. If we had boxes that big, that could be turned in CBA. In fact, I remember a team that tried to do double birds, and I don't think it worked out too well for them. All right, so a bunch of 9s on there. Ooh, somebody gave it a 5. All right, Derek, we're now 9. All right. Ty, let's bring the final box up, and then we'll wrap up the rate my box segment. We got a rib box. Here we go. That's a CBA rib box, so that's going to be a 10 would be a perfect score for you there. And that's pulled down pretty quickly. That's a big box. That's a lot of ribs in that box. That's what she said. All right, there we go. We got a 10. We got an 8. We got a 9. We got a 10. Kind of all over the place. If anybody wants to explain their 9s or 8s, please do. Not the best lighting. I kind of agree with that one, Pete. There's Pete. There's an SCA champ. Eric Salas. Oh, man, now they're coming in. Steve gives it a 10. Kristen a 9. A bunch of 9s for the most part. What'd you think of that rib box, Bill?
Man, I would probably give it a 10 just because, the lighting on the pictures, obviously I take a lot of pictures, and if the lighting's not right, it can have a pretty big effect on how it looks. But I bet those ribs look good. They look great. I'd give them a 10. So
I do like the bone pull off the top. I'd probably give it a 10. It's a full box. 10 bones in that box too, as well. All right. 6, missing rib grind. Didn't look like it had rib grind on there though.
no, sometimes if you cook it too far and sauce a little dark, it's hard to see. But I'm pretty sure it was there. If he walked, it was there. So
I will tell you that I instructed ribs in RecTech Academy in Georgia, and all the students, 36 of them, they all know about Texas rib grind and chicken fried barbecue because
orders have been piling in because of it, Rob. Thank you so much. So
you're welcome. And I talked LC, and there was another one in there. I'm not going to give the whole recipe because that thing's been killing it all over for 2 years. That rib recipe has been working now.
Has been on it.
It has been on it. Team Carly or Team Chuck? Daughter versus dad, national champion.
You got to put the money on Carly for sure.
Bro, come on. Everybody's going to go daughter, beat the dad. Let's go. Come on. Sorry, Chuck. Rib grind wins.
Hi, guys. I'm Carly Alexinas with Give 'em Hell Barbecue, and you're watching the So Smoking Gooder Show.
Bam. Ty's on it. Producer Ty working his magic back there. All right, Bill. I know you've already done this before. We talked about shout out to Barefoot Cookers, Jared McCrory. He's in the comments. I think I saw him earlier. Came up with the barbecue. Well, we'll talk about that as well. But Mount Rushmore, and I know you mentioned it before, but you don't have to say the same. If it's still the same, go.
I don't know that I've ever done it. It's been a while. I don't think I've been on the show since you've had it.
Okay, even better. See, I just assumed because I see you all the time on Dr.
We
Phil
do talk quite a bit. So
so this is awesome. So Bill has never done the Mount Rushmore, and these are people that have inspired you or helped you along the way, or people that you look up to, or just whatever it may be. Who you want to put on your Mount Rushmore? We have 4, and some people add 5, and we'll say that 5th person is in the gift shop down at the bottom.
I got 4 for you, Rob. So I got 4 for you.
Let's go.
All right. In no particular order.
No particular.
All of these 4 people have helped me. So in some way or another. So Phil Breeden. So I took my first class from Phil. It was a shadow class. It was Phil's, I think, first class to actually give.
Nice.
And it was a shadow class out at, I think, Waller. And he got first rib and first brisket, and he GC'd the contest and told me to forget everything he told me about chicken, and said we basically don't need it. If you can get first ribs, back then it was 10 points for first rib, 10 points for first brisket. So yeah, Phil was the first class I took, and it had a big impact. And shortly after that, I got my first GC. I think 2 weeks later, I ended up GCing. So
nice.
Next on the list would be Mr. Fred Robles. So both Phil and Fred are great friends, but they run 2 completely different profiles as far as, their cooking style or whatnot. But Fred's had a big impact, and, obviously I've taken both of their classes and pieced different things from each one of them to kind of develop my own, if you will. But the third one would probably be Brad Leiniger. Again, when I first started cooking KCBS, Brad of the Hot and Fast class really helped me out on chicken a lot. So a lot of the chicken that I do is the techniques and whatnot are from that class. And, obviously Brad's a beast,
He put brag. I love it.
Leiniger, yeah. Brad. And Wes Garrett, politically incorrect.
Wes Garrett's on the list. He predicted it.
No, he's not. I'm going to have to give the number 4 hold to Kit Polk.
Oh.
So Kit, to me, is an amazing cook. He does it with limited resources. He won't buy a Wagyu. He'll do it with a choice brisket. And man, I've cooked next to Kit a lot, and I've watched what he does, and he always does different stuff. It's never the same. He shows up with seasonings from Walmart, and they're all clumped up, and he still manages to get in there and kind of kick all our asses from time to time. So, and he does it with everything from a thrift store. He doesn't have a Cambro. He doesn't have an electric knife. He doesn't have any of the stuff that most all of us have that probably couldn't operate without our trailer. And Kit does it with a lawnmower, or a lawn furniture chair from 1982, and an Easy Up with a bunch of holes in it. For when it rains, it's pouring out these holes. He's a phenomenal cook.
And in the summer, he's got a window AC unit.
He's got a window unit sitting on top of a cooler blowing at him. So
it's awesome. Kit Polk is a legend.
He is a legend. And,
absolutely. That's a solid list.
If he would show up with Wagyu briskets, but he's pretty frugal. He won't spend more than $50 or $60 on a brisket. So he keeps us all winning because, like I said, he's pretty tight and pretty frugal. So.
Drew Davis says, I wish I would have written down half of what Kit told me this weekend. Well, a lot of it is jib, but he does have some good information. Wes said he's in the foothills down. He's in the lobby. He's in the gift shop.
Yeah. Wes is on rotation, so
that's a great list, man. You had Brad, Fred, Phil, and Kit. I mean, if you got a Mount Rushmore barbecue, that's a pretty solid list right there, Bill. How do you feel when people mention your name when they're talking about their Mount Rushmore?
Yeah, no, it's obviously an honor, you know what I mean? So for half people, I've heard my name a few times, so it's like you say, I'm still feel relatively new, 4 years, but at the same time, man, we got a lot of guys in this game that have been in it a year or two, so things, these guys that are in it a year or two, it won't be long before they're in it for 4 years. And, before things change and people come into this game and they see these guys killing it, because there is, man. I mean, you can go to any cook-off today, especially here in CBA, and I see it in KCBS. There's new names on that leaderboard every year, new names that weren't there last year. So, this sport's super addictive. And if it gets a hold of you and bites a hold of you and consumes you before you know it, man, you're all in. And that's what it takes to be able to come out and actually score. And, and you see it with, Louis and some of these newer cooks and Reggie Q. And, these guys have been in it a couple of years and, man, they're ate up with it and they'll kick your ass on any day of the week, haven't been doing it that long, so.
No, I love it. There's an old Garth Brooks song that says, much too young to be this damn old. And he talks about the competition's getting younger and all this other stuff. And I would listen to that the other day. It came on the radio. I was like, this is like straight up. He's talking about bull riding, but we could totally relate that to barbecue. He's talking about, he hadn't been home in 2 weeks and the competition's getting younger and it's tougher out there. It's really cool.
Well, I remember I was at Humble one year and I was just helping Phil. So I didn't really have too much desire to do KCBS, and Corey Mikes was there, and, Corey's got plenty of square trophies from the Royal and whatnot.
Yeah, he does.
And he's telling me what he did to his brisket and this, that, and the other. And, he's like, man, we got to pay this thing forward. And I was a new cook. And he's like, you never know when, man, I may need something from you down the road. So, some of the old guys, that have been doing this a while, man, you got to figure out what's winning. Half of this game is trying to figure out what's scoring and what's winning. And, man, we all network with each other. We all talk to each other, and, classes are great, but, man, there's also, hey, man, Rob, what are you doing for those ribs? And, man, you're liable to tell me if man, I'm going to tell you what I'm doing on brisket or vice versa. So
you and I have shared.
Nothing stays the same. It all, I won't necessarily help Wes Garrett, but apart from that, most people, I try to help out if I can.
All right, Bill, he asked a question, though. Well, how many takes did it take to get that perfect arm fold for the
that was the natural. I mean, it was single take. That was a single move, Wes. That. So.
And if you actually see the video, he's got the head bob too. It's
all choreographed, babe.
Pretty solid, my man.
Yeah.
So we tease, and I always tease you about helicopters following you where you're going next. Dr. Phil, Oprah. But what's on the horizon? You got anything in the works for Chicken Fried that you can maybe tease or talk to us a little bit about?
Man, I'm still waiting on my brine to come out. It should be coming out, I've told, the next 3 or 4 weeks, but equally so, the co-packers had setbacks with bags. They're waiting on pouches or bags for it. So as soon as, I wanted it out before the Royal, and they wanted it out before the Royal, but it is what it is. And, supply chains and whatnot. I don't know if they're still blaming COVID, but they can't seem to locate enough bags to get the pouches ready. But yeah, that's obviously the next thing that should be out. I am working on a sauce, but man, it could take 6 months to a year before that gets finalized. So
I got you guys. That's going to be the last question for Bill before we get out of here. Well, cool. I mean, how about any TV deals or not deals?
No.
But TV? No.
No. I did film a little commercial at Royal Oak that I think I filmed just a little bitty, freaking 30-second deal that they want to do some targeting ads.
Hi, Bubs. Who's Danielle?
That's my cousin.
Oh, cool. Very nice. Very nice. Welcome to the show, Danielle. Thanks for tuning in there. If you guys haven't, I always give shout outs. If you guys are new to the show and y'all say something, producer Ty and I will try and make an effort to make sure we shout you guys out. So like I said earlier in the show, you guys are the best part of this show, the Gooder Gang. You guys pull this thing around, and so we love you guys for doing that. Hill Country Barbecue, Marble Falls. What's up, Albert? How are you? All right. Oh, no apologies needed, ZZ Top fan. And I still want you to just keep your who you are anonymous to me. So word on the street, he's playing some JRU.
Man, you're aging yourself, Wes, pulling out of Dallas.
There he is, Wade Carpenter. We talked about your event that's coming up December 8th and 9th here pretty soon. Uvalde, Texas. Bill is a rock
man.
star.
And for all you guys that are watching this show that are out of the state, if you ever want to come cook in Texas, Uvalde's one that you should come cook. It's one that you can get into. You can't get into Houston Rodeo, but it is a premier event in the state of Texas. So Uvalde, that was the one that was on Barbecue USA. It's a fantastic event. So if Texas is on your bucket list, you will see the who's who of barbecue in Texas at Wade's Cook-Off. So
absolutely, all on concrete. They provide lunch,
dinner.
Dinner.
We got dinner Friday night, enchiladas. It's great. So
there he is. Roddy is watching. Sign up for the Chupacabra Throwdown. Pick your spot. There you go.
That's another one. That's another premier event, Chupacabra Throwdown for sure.
Both of those were mentioned by me. Yeah. Barbecue Dad Jody over at Rec Tech. He asked, "Hey, where they want to get into Texas? They want to make their presence known." I'm talking about Rec Tech. They want to make their presence known more so here in Texas, and they asked me some of the events. And so I did throw out Uvalde for one. Chupacabra was another one. There's some really good events, and they know about the Houston Livestock Show. They know about San Antonio. They know about all those big ones. But Smoking on the Rio and whatnot. But they did ask, hey, give me some of those lesser known ones. Uvalde is a pretty big known one, especially if you watch this show. We talk about Uvalde now. I mean, the chicken fries. There's Dirk. How about the stealth?
I got called Dirk several times this weekend at the Royal. Yeah, people were, because Dirk was wearing my shirt, chicken fry shirt at the Royal. So when I was obviously wearing it at Royal Oak, people were coming to me, hey, Dirk, how's it going? So they were messing around.
So this is another topic. You've seen on the show how much the barbecue homie is a little polarizing. Who's your barbecue homie, Bill? You got
it's gonna be Phil Breeden, LC Breeden. Yeah. So I mean, I have a bunch of friends, a bunch of great friends, but we're usually setting up next to each other, and it's been that way from the very beginning. As when I first started cooking in this area, even before I took Phil's class, we were always kind of, we gravitated towards one another, and man, he was over trying to help me out, and even before I took his shadow class, kind of giving me tips along the way. So Phil's I think I remember I'd walked 3 times, and I think I'd beat him early on, and I had gotten all the products from his trailer that day. He's like, hey, he beat me with all my own shit, The
bromance is real. Yes, if you see Bill, if they're in the same parking lot, they're set up right next to each other with
I don't think that's any secret. You know what I mean?
No, it's not any secret. You got Bill and Phil right next to each other. I mean, they're like backed up. They're spooning. If trailers could spoon, They're
Right.
spooning, and then you got Kit somewhere on the back end of that.
Yeah, Kit's off on the side somewhere, and we're
He's-
both trying not to watch because it'll just piss us off,
There it is, right there. Bill riding Phil's little motorbike. That's
His
homie.
pork looks like trimmings, and he ends up beating us in pork. Like, man, what was that he put on that pit? Was that even a money muscle? What was that? Man, don't look. It's just going to piss you off.
So Wes, I know Wes is watching right now. Are you in for next Wednesday? What do you know about Wes, man? Talk about Wes. He's a character, man. I love Wes.
Oh man, Wes is great. Wes is man, I call him every time I need something, and he never calls me. But no, Wes is really good. Yeah, I've staged my trailer at his place in Mississippi. He's I've had flat tires in Mississippi, and Wes has always been there to help me out. He's he only gets to cook about 12 or 15 times a year, so he's never really going to be in a points chase or anything like that. But he holds his own. Me and him, I like Mississippi. He's from Mississippi, and I've cooked in Mississippi several times, and I've always had good results. But, man, Wes is usually right there next to me, whether I've granded and he's reserved or he's granded and I've reserved. He kind of owns hashtag poor. Hashtag he's got a big family, So,
Yeah.
But no, Wes he's good people for sure. So,
Brandon Flores made a comment right there. I think he just highlighted. I met you the first time in Uvalde last year. Also got my first chicken fried barbecue hat from you in Uvalde.
Yeah,
Brandon with Texas Made Smokers. He's a
Yep.
solid.
Yep.
We're talking about up and comers, man. These
Yep.
guys that come in and really dive headfirst into the sport. Man, they dive in and they come right up to the top, man, because it's if you put the effort, time, and like Wes said, money, you can do well in this thing.
Man, I
pretty
think
quickly.
Wes being on the show is going to be great because he is, and my wife loves Wes too. She just, anytime we're at a cook off and he's there, like I'm going to Pine Bluff, Arkansas this weekend. And man, out of all the teams that are there, man, I was hoping Wes would be there because man, we just have a good time. And but unfortunately, he's got to work. He'll be in Vegas working while giving the rest of us a chance. So I think he hit first place ribs there last year. So maybe head him up for a rib recipe before I go. So
if you ever get to watch one of his live awards, he has commentary, which is awesome.
Oh, yeah. I remember watching Gadsden, and man, they called out first place pork, and he was like, "Oh fuck," because he thought he had it. That's hilarious.
His commentaries are great. I can't wait to introduce the Gooder Gang to Wes Garrett, which has one of the coolest names in barbecue, Piglytically Incorrect. So he'll be on the show next week.
He's a complete opposite of me too. He's a clean freak. Like his trailer is spotless, man. If he drops a piece of sauce, he'll rather clean that than turn in brisket. So he's a clean freak for sure. So he won't let his wife do the dishes because she won't clean them good enough.
We got one of those down here. That is Josh Hale. Let's do some live commentary. I'd love to, Sean. Although, man, I don't know what it is, but some people, Bill, maybe you can film an entire CBA awards with music and go through the whole hour and whatever, however long it takes. Me, So Smoking Gooder Show, Bullhorn Barbecue, Rob Rocha, whatever it is that I'm filming, as soon as they get some, I guess I'm on some kind of Zuckerberg hit list because they will cut me off pretty quickly.
Probably because you're famous, Rob. I mean, let's face it. I mean,
we do have groupies. We have Gooder Gang.
So Smoking Gooder Show is international. People from Australia. You got everybody. It's just worldwide phenomenal.
We are worldwide. All right, let's bring producer Ty in here before we get you out of here, Bill. What'd you think, Ty? How's it going?
It's always good when Bill comes on. I mean, he's a bevy of knowledge. He's an ambassador of the sport. He's very giving. I mean, even to people that aren't cooks, like he's been super nice to me. And there's just no damn reason for me because I'm not even in the cook game. But he's super nice to me. Some people are just nice. Good at everything.
No,
but yeah, thank you, sir.
Did you pick up anything tonight?
Yeah. What I really. I've watched Tom cook a lot, but what I really probably want to pick your brain about this weekend is the finishing dust. Because I've always seen them put it on there. I never asked what's in that little thing that they use to put it on there, but I would like to know more about the finishing dust this weekend.
Great question. That's we've talked about on the show. That's where you make or break here.
Yeah, I mean, and you can try different things too. I mean, like try a rib and without anything, and then actually, man, take some salt and put it on there, see how it tastes. Take some, something with a little spice, see how it tastes, and then kind of go from there as far as what you want to stick on it, and usually, man, a lot of times you can finish with the same rubs that you use. If you put rib grind on it, man, you can grind the rib grind up and stick it on there to where it kind of dissolves into the meat and just gives it a little extra pop. So
my mouth's watering just hearing you describe that shit, man. That's amazing.
Yeah.
Story time with Uncle Bill. Bill is an awesome guy, even for the new guys just coming in. He takes the time to chat and answer questions. Yeah, I've been next to Bill, and Bill has a crowd. I'm like, Bill, how do you do it, man? And Bill will sit there. Bill's a great ambassador, like Ty just mentioned, a great ambassador for the sport. And he takes the time to get to know you a little bit and help you out. All good. All right, Bill. Well, thank you for dressing up with a polo shirt. That was pretty solid. And B, thanks for spending thanks for spending a couple hours with us on the show. We appreciate you. And like I mentioned earlier, before we got started in here, this is where you cut your chops. I'm glad that you mentioned it's been a little while because I do want to bring you on periodically. But man, you've been having an amazing 23 season, and it's been a joy to watch from afar. And thank you, Sean. Appreciate that. But it's been a joy to watch from afar and just to see how you've been doing. And let's close out 23 strong, and we'll see what 24 brings, man.
We're on it. We're going for qualifiers, baby. So that's what we want. So.
There he is. All right, we're going to drop Bill out of here, and I'm going to finish the show with producer Ty. Bill, thanks. If you want to stick around, I'll be back on here in just a minute. Or if you got to get, you got to get. But I understand. Thank you very much, Bill Purvis from Chicken Fried Barbecue. All right, there he was, producer Ty. That was pretty awesome. It's always great to have Bill on the show. He's an amazing cook. He's an amazing ambassador. And like he's only been in it for 4 years, man. And it's cool to see. I've mentioned it before, his meteoric rise. He's just a solid guy, man. Great guy. Like people are mentioning that. That's really what I want people to think of, even me, is like, hey, I'm a nice guy. I'll help you out and I'll do that. And for Bill to have all these people talking about him so highly, man, that's kind of the best compliments I think you can have. Absolutely.
I went and picked myself up some swag today at the barbecue store. Everybody treated me great out there when I went out there today. So I want to get that one you have. That's a cool shirt too.
It's stealth, bro. It's stealth marketing. Yeah. I don't know.
I like that subdued stuff. You got to be.
I don't even know how it happened. I just saw it in the closet. I was like, when did I get this? It was that stealthy, and I was like, I'm wearing that tonight.
Mr. Purvis, I need a 4X, baby.
Oh man, that's a small for Bill. You got it, man. You got that. I know he's got that. All right. Well, that's going to wrap up the show tonight. Thank you to the Gooder Gang. Like I mentioned, you guys truly are the best part of this show, and I appreciate it. And it's always great to have you guys checking in. We had, I think we did have 80,000 or 80 people, but that is the most watched show of this type. And I am very proud of that. I'm very proud to bring this to you each and every week that I can. For the most part, I only miss probably 4 or 5 the entire year. And I do it for you guys, man. It's a lot of fun for us to go out here and talk barbecue and to meet some people and introduce people like Bill. Next week, we're going to introduce Wes Garrett from Piglytically Incorrect. He's another fun guy. We're going to have a good time out there. Maybe I'll ask Wes who he wants to, if he wants any kind of co-host. Rob, I need a shirt. My wife stole mine. We will. We'll get some more. We'll get out to the barbecue store and make sure We Branded Promotions does that. All right. If you're cooking this weekend, good luck. If you're not, go out there and do something, have fun with the family, whatever it may be. I appreciate you guys tuning in each and every week. We'll be back next Wednesday at 8 o'clock talking about some results from the PHA Town Ball Cook-Off. All right. For producer Ty and our guest tonight, Bill Purvis, thank you very much. We are